Thanks for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be talking about The Byways by Mary Pascal. This is a dark young adult retelling of Alice's adventures in Wonderland, and it really does feel like an Alice in Wonderland retelling. I know I've said this a lot. I love retellings. I will watch retellings 1,000 times. I will read them. I don't even care if it's a Jane Austen retelling, because we all know I have not read Jane Austen's, but I will devour every single Jane Austen retelling and movie. Really weird. I think I'm just not a fan of her writing style. But, sorry, but it's just, it's one of my, favorite things, retellings. I really do love retelling, so I will eat them up like that. But I hate when people say, it's a retelling. I'm like, a retelling of what? Like, you missed the mark. Mary Pascal does not miss the mark here. Thank God. It follows Cece. So Cece is, she's in special needs classes. She only has one friend at school, and her one friend at school happens to be one of the more popular kids at school. So I guess you can think, I want to say Megan's Body almost, just kind of that dynamic, but just not that dynamic, if you know what I mean. She only has the one friend at school who does stand up for her a lot of the time. And Cece even says, she's like, your life would be better off without me. She's like, no, it would just be boring. She's a really good friend to Cece. And they have an argument, and Cece's already been having a shitty day. And, she ends up doing something really out of character, even for her. And she runs into the alleyways, into the byways, and then she gets she enters, without knowing it, she enters the byway. She enters this world's version of Wonderland. And I really think that's really cool. It's really dark, don't get me wrong, but it's very dark in a realistic, contemporary way. Think of the byways as the home for all the people who've been forgotten by their families, all the homeless people, all the people who have had hard lives, so they go to the byways because they want to hide away from the world. They want to be lost. It's for all the lost souls out there. And I really like the story and how it evaluates what it means to be a lost soul and to just be lost. And Cece realizes, she's like, I have a mom. My mom's going to be worried about me. I'm all my mom has. I have a best friend. I don't want to be lost. I want to get home. So she's really, really struggling with getting home and trying to find a way to not be lost anymore. But it's harder than you would think. And there are, again, lots of challenges. This is a dark retelling. You've got people it's not just the people who feel lost, that want to be lost. It's the people who don't want to be found, like kidnappers and murderers. So it's dark. So she has to find ways to keep herself safe and keep herself sane. It's not inappropriate. Let me just start by saying that. I know I'm saying it's dark, but it's not inappropriate for young readers. But it's real. There is a lot of realism in this story, first and foremost. And that's the part that really drew me in, that realism. Because I can read Alice in Wonderland retelling 1,000 times, but I need something different for it to really stand out. And I think that realism here really stood out. Another thing I do want to note is that it does start off slow. It is a bit of a slow start, and there are lulls in there that did bore me, but I will say the saving grace is the characterization. Pushing through those slow moments was made doable because I love these characters. You've got Apple Cheeks, Kelly, Jessie, and then Cece. These are all 4 great characters, and the fact that I can remember their names without having to look at my notes that says something, because we all know I know my friend Gina says I'm great with names, but not always. Not always, especially when there's a ton of characters. So, not always. But thank you, Gina, for loving me. It's just, I love their characterizations and I love their stories because they're each given a sort of backstory. And Jessie is a combination of the Chester Cat and the Mad Hatter, and I kind of love it so much. And God, I can't remember the name. There's this Alice in Wonderland miniseries. It's called Alice. I can't remember who stars in it, but I remember thinking, this kid Jessie reminds me of the Mad Hatter in that. I got so many good vibes from that. If only I could remember, because I did love that miniseries. I remember one time in college, I went through a whole, let me watch every single miniseries that I can kind of binge, and I did. College life. But the characters were well written. They had really good dynamics. They had really powerful stories behind them, and they had really strong voices. So the characterization was on point, and that helped get through a lot of the, slower moments. And I do love the friendship that develops between Cece and Jessie, and I do love how that blossoms into a full-on relationship as well. It was heartwarming. It was sweet. It was just like reminiscent of like, oh, first crushes and first loves. It was cute. It was cute, and it was emotional in a really good way. So, The Byways by Mary Pascal. I'm going to go ahead and give this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think my initial review when I first read it was like 3, but the more I sit on it, the more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? No, the characterization was really, really good. And even though the story had a slow start and it had lots of slow moments in it, like a roller coaster, it was still really realistic. It was really unique, and it had, again, that characterization really kept me engaged from beginning to end. So I was invested in who the characters are in their journey. So, once again, 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you want to go ahead and purchase the book, I will, of course, include links in the description below on where you can purchase. And on that note, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy reading.